Welcome to Camera Shake Podcast, episode 93. The podcast where we talk about, well, anything that's shaking and moving in the world of cameras, filmmaking, photography, and so on and so forth. Now, that being said, if you are watching on YouTube, then make sure you're not in the car, Tommy, firstly. And secondly, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button and all that kind of stuff. And if you are listening to the audio version of this podcast, which I know many of you do,
Tommy.
Yeah. Then leave us a little star rating and give us a little review, because this really help us in our podcast to be seen and heard all over the world. Now,
has Tommy left a review? I don't think he has.
Oh, Tommy, you have not left a review, I believe. Be my guest. Anyway, but also this week we're really interested in hearing from you, no matter where you are, because we in the analytics of of the audio version, we can sort of see where people are, very broadly speaking, in terms of like country, and it's really interesting to see where people are when they listen to the podcast, and so it'd be really super interesting for us to hear from you. So send us a little comment, send us a message on Facebook or Instagram, or you can email us on camerashakepodcast@gmail.com. Whichever method, we'd be super thrilled, because we want to know when and where you like to listen to the Camera Shake podcast. That would be a total thrill for us.
Funniest and filthiest answers will be shared on the next episode.
Yeah. Yes, and we would love to read your comments out next week. So that'd be nothing.
Where do you listen to it? Do you listen to it?
Yeah, I actually listen to it in the car mostly. Mm-hmm. It's the truth.
The last. Oh no! I'll lie and just say I listen to it too. Yeah.
I tell you what, I actually. So I mean, I'm saying not necessarily only our podcast, but generally podcasts, because I do listen to quite a few podcasts. And so I predominantly listen in the car and when I'm editing. That's for me. That's the biggest thing.
When I used to travel into London every single day, and that used to be my time to listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
And I used to have an hour and a half there, hour and a half back. Loads of time. That's 3 hours a day. Yeah, just listening to podcasts.
It's one of these things. I mean, I love to rock out to some music in the car, but
rock out with what out?
Oh, it depends. I mean, I was actually, yeah. I mean, it's I was what was it? I was listening to some Lynyrd Skynyrd the other day.
What did we listen to in the car the other day when we were going to that job?
I can't remember.
Saxon.
Oh,
was it Saxon?
Oh my God!
Denim and leather
go well together.
What did I think the lyrics was before we listened to it?
I thought it was "Go Well Together," wasn't it?
Yeah,
it should have been that.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah. If you've never heard of this band, Saxon, just for shits and giggles, as they say, please listen to that and get back to us. Tell us what you think. We had the most hilarious journey into town, and leather.
Looks good together. They're not the lyrics. They're not. But it is denim and leather. Anyway.
Yeah, diamond. That's what that is.
Diamond.
Pure gold.
Gold.
Yeah.
Love it. Anyway.
Yeah, so when I'm editing, I often listen to podcasts. Sometimes I listen to some stuff on Clubhouse, but it's the same sort of thing. You listen to the spoken word, basically.
The spoken word.
And
poetry?
Poetry? No, not so much.
No, I can't get on
board
with
although
poetry.
I do like to think that, especially our podcast is very poetic, of course. But
yeah, it's very Shakespeare.
Oh. We should rap this podcast.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
We should have rapping names. What would be your rap name?
I'm trying to think of the Flight of the Conchords rap names.
Oh, the rhinoceros.
The rhinoceros.
The hippopotamus.
Hip-hop. Oh, I can't say
I can't say either.
It's really hard to say. Dear.
But yeah, I mean,
Can somebody please get these cutleries out of my knees?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, again, I come back to the same thing. If you're listening to this, it'd be really interesting for us to know, where and when you listen to this podcast and podcasts in general, because I'm just thinking, well, am I weird that I listen to podcasts when I'm editing, or is that the normal thing? No idea.
I can answer the first part.
What do you? I mean,
I have an answer.
So with video, it's I guess it's different because you have to sort of listen to the audio part of it.
Unfortunately, yes.
But when you're like color grading, let's say, where that's slightly right. Do you listen to music or podcasts?
I don't actually. I don't. It's different. I do different things. I'll either sit there in silence and just try and be quiet because I can focus through and hammer through. Or if I'm getting some bass kind of stuff done, I'll actually do it on the sofa and have the TV on in the background.
Right.
And you may think that's a bit weird, TV, color grading, but actually I look up every so often, kind of, it's almost a little bit of a like refresh for a second.
Yeah.
To see something like, right, okay. That's what white looks like.
Yeah.
It's just it's particularly if you're going for a filmic. Filmic? When was the last time someone said filmic?
No. Filmic look, maybe.
Filmic look. Yeah. If you get, particularly if you're going for a filmic look, you can look up, you make sure you got enough green in there. You got enough, for the sake of it, teal and orange, but it's that green element in the skin which is actually really, really difficult to get right. And because you can take it way too far and you can do it way too magenta easily. And actually just looking at your screen and then looking up to something that's on is a nice little kind of break and go, okay. It's a bit like mixing audio. You can only do it for so long.
Yeah.
And then your ears get so attuned to what you're listening to or what you're looking at that you just need to leave for a minute, take a break, go outside, listen to normal noise, go and look at something that looks normal, and then come back and go, my God, what the hell is that?
Yeah, that's always the thing. I mean, I remember, back in the day, especially when you're listening back at too high a volume, then of course your ears end up being shot after a certain time and you stop hearing certain things. I remember putting pieces of paper over the speaker cones.
Yeah.
To get rid of certain frequencies because I just wasn't I just wasn't able to really discern very much. And the clever thing is to take a break, basically. But then if you don't have the luxury of time, then sometimes you just have to push through.
This is it. Yeah. Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
I tell you what, I was having a problem with straight lines today. Funnily enough, I've been editing.
Straight lines.
Well, I was editing architectural images. Quite a lot of them, over the last few days or the last week or something. And there comes that point where you straighten verticals in particular, and at some point you look at it and you're like, I'm not sure that it's really straight. It is straight because the
line says
the computer says it's straight, but you look at it and just go like, I have lost any ability of judgment at that point because I've been looking at so many vertical lines, that you just blind yourself after a while.
Yeah.
So then, I usually take a little break.
And that's it. You got to. You can't underestimate taking even just 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
15 minutes, half an hour, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, brightness is another thing.
You've got to get away.
A lot, with a lot of interior shots, you tend to, you want to make things look as kind of bright and inviting as possible. Mm-hmm. Even, if you're in a room where maybe there isn't a lot of window space, or there's or the walls aren't white. There might be either off white or there might be a slight beige or slight gray color or something like that. It's easy to end up making it look too dingy.
Yeah.
Or actually, in actual fact, if you made it look like it actually looks in real life, it would still come across as being not inviting enough.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So you want to give it that little gloss.
Absolutely. That's why for quite some time now, I have mixed audio at exactly the same volume every single time, so that I know what it should be at that particular level.
Right.
That's why when I edit audio, when I'm color grading or correcting or anything like that, the brightness on my monitor or on my laptop screen is always set the same.
Yeah.
It's identical every single time because I know what that looks like. And if you keep adjusting it and changing it for whatever reason, it's not that you're then doing something wrong after, because that's too bright when it's come out, or it's too dingy or whatever it is. It's not that you've messed up. It's because you keep you're doing it in a different environment, basically, and you can't get that right.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
Which is why you should always, first of all, calibrate your screen, and then try and edit under the same, or similar lighting conditions. It's not always possible, especially
not always possible,
especially not where I work. But I tend to have the blinds drawn when I do a lot of editing, just because it just gets rid of a lot of interference, especially on a sunny day when you have a lot of sunlight coming through.
Yet you still need to have enough ambient light so your eyes don't go. Oh,
yeah, exactly. The trouble in my house is that the windows to the left of me are south facing, and we get a lot of, especially in the summer, we get a lot of light throughout during the day, and so you get a lot of really warm sunlight spill coming in from the left, and then the right hand side, where I also have a lot of windows, but that's all north facing, so I get a completely different color of light coming in there. So
that's a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, it is a bit of a nightmare, but you just you get used to it. Yeah, and I'm sitting right in the middle of it, basically.
Yeah.
So I can control it a little bit. I can't actually completely darken the whole room.
Have you found, since you've been in that particular setup, that you've tended to edit more at night than you have during the day?
Unfortunately, I don't have the luxury really to.
No, I guess you don't. No,
but
and that's the other thing that's worth mentioning is that you're put in certain situations because life dictates that you need to be in that situation.
Yeah,
You've got a family. You've got people that are going to be around all that time, and it's not always possible to be.
Yeah, that's it. And sometimes projects are time sensitive. So there's you just have to get the job done really. But of course, you learn how to deal with the situation that you're in, and what I found is, since like last year at some point, since I changed to a 5K screen, that to me has made the most immense difference, from like doing...
It would after you've gone from your 720.
Yeah, from when you go from doing most of your editing work on a laptop screen to a 5K screen that's big, bright, with lots of, what are they called? Niches or something, or...
Wow, that's a word I've not heard before. What's that?
Nits. Is it nits?
Oh, nits.
Yeah, nits. That's what it is. Nits.
Oh, it's got so many nits.
That's not even a real word. Anyway, does it have something to do with lice? Isn't it lice and nits? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, that was a real thing. And I used to always, I think we've talked about this before, some episode, but I used to always have to correct my edits by checking them. I'd edit an image, I send it to my phone, I look at what it looks like on my iPhone, and then I balance it on my laptop screen so that it comes out the way I want it to be. Because that laptop screen was just so off, and I got to the point where I would automatically do that, without even having to double check, if you know what I mean. And so, of course, it's a workaround, because what should really be happening is, what you're editing on should actually give you a true representation of what it is that you're trying to achieve, clearly. But the funniest thing is, like, I used to get these comments all the time, like, "Oh yeah, I love your colors. Like your color, I don't know how you do it, but your colors look so amazing." I always think, like, you have no idea how shit my screen is.
Yeah,
it's like, I don't even know how I do that, because I'm not looking at these colors when I'm editing it, but there you go. So yeah, it's important to first of all calibrate your screen, and then make sure you're editing on something that's actually fit for the job.
Yeah,
and
not
a 2012 MacBook Pro.
Keep all your conditions as consistent as you can every time you edit.
Yeah.
Like we said, not always possible, but just try and keep it as close to that as you can.
Exactly. So what else is new this week?
I'm so tired. I'm really tired. This is why we're cramming this in again this week into a tiny little segment in late Wednesday night. This is late Wednesday night.
So if you're listening to this on the Thursday morning, which is Thursday morning UK time anyway,
This is as up to date as you could possibly be.
That's it. So we're literally recording this about 10 hours before it goes live.
Yeah.
So, which, in itself is still pretty good.
Yeah. What else is new?
Well, I'll tell you what, today's actually been a massive milestone in my life. Because today was the day.
Hang on, let me guess. Let me guess. My gate's probably going to cut that tapping out, actually. I just realised. I'll put a sound effect. No, I won't, because I haven't got long enough to edit. Okay, let me think. Milestone. Wow.
Yeah, absolute milestone.
50?
Not quite yet. Not quite yet. Not far off.
You saw sense and got rid of your hybrid and got a regular
electric car?
Diesel car. What else? I'll have one more go. No, I'm out.
All right. Today was the day I finally gave in and moved on from analog watch technology to the world of smartwatches.
And isn't it funny how I'm going the other direction?
Ah,
yeah.
Well,
I am buying up analog watches.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you're still using your iWatch.
Oh yeah, of course it might.
Yeah,
Can't
Apple Watch.
even
Apple Watch.
say
I can't even
the
say
word.
it. You know what it's called, yeah.
iWatch.
Apple Watch even. So
Why isn't it iWatch?
I have no idea. It should be iWatch.
It should be iWatch.
Yeah, it was probably copyrighted or something, I guess. Probably trademarked by some other company.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but so today I've finally relented and I went fully electronic.
Why?
Well, I needed an incentive to get back on the wagon and start working out again.
So,
and
how did your workout go today?
Actually, so what I'm doing is
right, everyone, listen to it now.
So
the excuses are about to come.
So I was really shocked today, because one of the things I like about smartwatches and especially with the Apple Watch is that you can track certain things, like you can track your blood oxygen levels and your obviously your steps and all that, the distance traveled and all that kind of stuff.
Kirsten's about to become one of those people who I've done 5,000 steps today. I need to slow down.
Well, yeah. I think,
or I'm gonna guess.
I think I would consider myself lucky if I actually did 5,000 steps
or a step.
So, well, that was the shocking revelation there. But
can you exclude steps that go from your desk to the coffee machine and back? Because if you could, you've done nothing.
Yeah,
today.
well, that's that. Yeah, so I just need an incentive to actually get back on the wagon, and that was my incentive. So now I have a justification to do it. And to be honest, I mean, I got the damn watch this morning, so I don't even really know how to use it at this point. But
there's nothing to do. Don't worry.
But I'm already really enjoying it. I mean, I'm enjoying the fact. What I haven't done as much today is I haven't picked my phone up as much.
But you've sat there going.
Well, no, it's like the thing is like you get some notification or something, you quickly glance at your at your watch and you realize it's not important, so you just ignore it. Rather than taking your phone out, looking at your phone, and whilst you're looking at your phone, you go like, "Oh, that email is not important," but hey, there's solitaire. Do you know what I mean? That's actually been a marked difference I found today.
That's interesting.
That's
interesting.
And so far, I mean, I'm 1 day in, not even 1 day in, really. But I've been enjoying it quite a lot.
Okay. Well, that's good.
It's good.
I mean, it's good that you are. I mean, after about a week. Notifications and whatnot started to really get on me. My boobies,
man boobs,
moobs. Yeah. So I pretty much. I mean, they still come through, of course. They still buzz. It's nice that it just does a quick little buzz on your wrist rather than buzzing on your phone or whatnot, because that's a lot louder. Or if you've got the sound on it, it stops doing that, which is good. I don't use it for anything other than when I was running, streaming Spotify, so that I could just stick it on my headphones and I'm off, so I didn't have to take a phone, or tracking my run that I was doing. That's it. these days.
I have.
And we know how my running's been going for the last year.
Yeah. So I have found the best use of this watch already. Let me show you.
I love the fact that you're like 8 years behind everyone else.
This is beautiful. Now, right, check this one.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's very good.
Isn't that wicked?
Isn't it wicked?
That's wicked. So now I can point this at my dog. I can leave the room and see what my dog's up to when I'm not there.
So for those of you who are on the audio version, Kay has just realised that he can see his camera screen on his phone, his phone, sorry.
Exactly.
On his watch, so that he can place it wherever he wants, walk away, and you can take it from the phone as well, can't you? From the watch as well.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah. Oh, there's a timer.
Done.
So we just took a little selfie.
Which no doubt we'll put on social media.
Yeah, because that looks awesome. But yes, Kersten is currently several years behind the rest of us.
Oh, absolutely, as always.
But it's good. The point is that you've got it for a reason.
Yeah.
As I know that your wife doesn't listen to the podcast, I also know that the main reason you got it is because you're a geek, like the rest of us, and you like a little bit of tech.
Does play a role. Yeah.
There we go.
Plays part of it, of course.
Good. You can be honest with all of us here. It's fine.
Yeah. But, it's I mean,
But are you going to start running?
Yeah.
Or working out or whatever? I'm going
to start with some running. Yeah. So I'm going to get myself into it with a little bit of cardio, because typically what happens with me is that I find it very difficult to get myself over the threshold of actually being more active. But my endorphins work in a way that as soon as I start doing a little bit, like going for runs, what happens is, my brain has, for some reason, has this thing where it just kicks out all these endorphins. And before you know it, I'm going to be totally obsessed with working out.
Yep. Same. Exactly the same. And once I started running, I got over that hurdle of A, getting in the habit of running, and B, not feeling like death.
Mm-hmm.
I gradually started to feel really good, and I felt energized for the rest of the day every time I ran. Then when I stopped, I felt like crap. I started to feel like crap. It didn't last that long. It was only a few weeks, and then your body just gets used to being a lazy shit again, right? And that's what I've become for the last 6 months. Well,
I mean, I really, I used to be on
miss it. I used
to be in a really good workout regime, pretty much all the way up to the pandemic. And it really when the pandemic started, for me, I lost all of my, energy, my will to my motivation to go out and do anything.
It's got to become a habit.
And it has to become a habit. Before that, you might remember that, but before that, I used to go to the gym at least 4 times a week.
Yeah.
And I used to do all sorts of different crazy stuff.
Just to hang out at the juice bar.
No juice bar there, no. But I used to do boxing once a week. I used to go to the gym at least 3, usually 4 times a week. And arguably, I didn't actually at the time. I didn't do that much cardio. I think the boxing was actually the main cardio.
That's a decent amount of cardio.
Oh, it's killer cardio, yeah. But and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And it's really since the beginning of the pandemic that it's really given me a bit of a knock. And I've been thinking about getting back into it for a little while, but it's one of these things,
Do you know what the funny thing is that for so long I had so little to do in comparison to what I was doing before. And now, right at the moment, for the last few months, I've been busier than I've probably ever been. And now is the moment I need to be exercising most because I need that extra energy that it gives me. But now is the moment I just cannot find the time to do it. And you can argue that that's an excuse that you don't feel the time, but I genuinely just, because I really want to be doing it.
Yeah, it's I just couldn't get myself over it. And again, at the beginning of the pandemic, of course, we had a lot of time, but there was all this, at the very beginning, there was all this, like there were, this fear and the fear of the unknown, and we didn't have vaccines at the time. We didn't know where this was heading, and it was a very new experience, and everything. And you have, of course, we were like concerned about, ourselves and the kids and all the rest of it, and so I really didn't have the motivation. Whilst a lot of people took this as an opportunity to actually, take their 45-minute exercise or whatever and actually go out and and do something. I like literally just withdrew from that, and maybe it was like because what I liked doing at the time was actually going to the gym, and then I couldn't because the gyms were shut, for quite a long time, and I still
haven't been back to a gym.
I just lost all the motivation at the time, and it really hasn't come back. The motivation has dwindled, but the waistline has increased. And at that point, you're going to go, well, I'm going to have to start doing something.
For those on audio, and to be honest, on YouTube as well, because you probably can't see really, but I can let you know it's true.
This is fat me. Fat me talking to you right now.
I thought you had a fat suit on.
Oh, yeah. Every day. It's like...
It's the man with the moves.
Yeah. It's when your wife says to you, I think you look much better, with a slightly fuller face. Yeah. You got to go, whoa, hang on a second.
Fuller?
Fuller face? Wait a minute.
I look healthier? What?
Healthier? Oh.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, you look really healthy. What?
Yeah. Thanks, Grandma.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're saying I'm fat. Damn it. Anyway, so that is that's my plan over the next, and you can follow my progress on this podcast, incidentally.
Oh, yippee!
So now that I've said it, now that I've publicly said it, and it's out there in the ether, I'm gonna have to stick to it, because otherwise I'm gonna look like a right old lemon.
Lemon.
Right?
Gamma lemon.
Lemon, whatever. So so that's it. You can hold me accountable on this podcast. Maybe we start a sub channel where I vlog from my runs.
Oh God! But from your watch.
Yeah, from my watch. Exactly. Oh, nothing.
Oh look! See, it hasn't even silenced his notifications.
Yeah, I haven't figured out how to.
Who does that?
I haven't worked out how to do that yet.
They're linked.
Oh.
Do it on your phone.
Oh, you do it on the phone. Yeah. Right.
Or you can do it there.
But I found this really cool watch face, which is basically the sun. It tells me when there's sunrise, and you can actually.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. It's like.
So you've got like 2 or 3 versions later than me.
Oh, it is. So you can basically work out when twilight happens and when there's golden hour and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, huh?
I'd be interested to know if it's accurate.
It was. I checked it out today,
really?
And it was dead on. Yeah, absolutely dead on.
There we go.
So.
First bit of photography of the day.
I know. Well, I was playing around with the camera. The first thing I checked out in this watch is actually the camera link. That was the first thing. I was like, what can I do with the camera? So, yeah.
Maybe I need to upgrade my watch.
Yeah.
Mine's a few years old now.
How old is yours?
3 years old.
What number is it?
4.
4, okay.
What's that, 6, 7?
7. But I think they say that there isn't that much in it between 6 and 7 apparently. It's just the screen is like slightly bigger or whatever, but that's it.
Yeah, I guess the biggest difference is going to be there's going to be a better processor in it, which means it can do certain things. Like I don't get that watch face. I can't get that.
Right.
The Twilight one that you just described. You see, you're distracted by your watch now.
Oh, I know.
See, notification's there. It's there. Look.
Where is it?
Just look.
Is it this thing?
No.
What is that?
That's you finding your phone.
Oh. Is that what it is? How do I turn it off?
What do you think the big bell thing is below? There we go.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh, right. Oh, okay.
Oh, he's a smartwatch noob.
I am. Oh, this is cinema mode. So this is where you turn on the cinema. Oh, check it out.
Right. Move on.
Hang on, walkie-talkie.
Yeah. No, I know. I wish you. I was hoping you'd never find
We
that.
could talk to each other.
No, we can't. No, we can't.
Yes, we will.
I'll block you. It's fine.
Oh no,
It's fine.
I'm gonna have to try that tomorrow morning. First thing. Hi, Nick. I just got up. Oh, it's gonna be so annoying for the next few weeks.
Yeah,
Wicked.
5 a.m.
Yeah, 4 a.m. Hey, Nick, I can't go back to sleep. I know you're up.
And I'll roll over and turn to you. Oh, yes, that would be amusing.
Oh dear. And I started watching a new show today called Tommy and Pam, or Pam and Tommy, or whatever, on Apple Plus.
I've seen that sex tape
on Disney Plus. So it's
why is there a sex tape on Disney Plus?
well, here's the funny thing though, right?
Is your head even on screen? It's so low.
So it's this new series about Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee, and it features the likes of Seth Rogen and so on and so forth, and it is hilarious. I have to say, if you are the proud owner of Disney Plus and you have access to that, then I highly recommend it. There are some really hilariously funny scenes in there. Especially, talking dicks. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
so
why is that funny? Does yours not do that? No?
I knew there was something wrong with it. Damn it. But one of the things I found hilarious was, obviously, clearly, I'm watching this, and of course, at the same time, I'm on Wikipedia checking out like Pamela Anderson's, former life and whatever. And what I found out was that
on your watch or on your phone?
On my phone. But here's the thing, right? Get this. So obviously, the whole thing about this this relationship between Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson was the fact that there was a sex tape that became public at the time and all the rest of it. So then they get divorced. And then some years later, she marries again to a poker player who had to go to court over a sex tape that he had recorded with Paris Hilton.
Oh, was that him? Oh, that same okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny how these things
because they're both classy.
Yeah, well, apparently so.
Oh wow. Well, there you go. Fun times. Well, that's worth a watch.
Absolutely, yeah, totally worth a watch. But in no way sponsored by Disney Plus, by the way. But it is worth watching. I'm one episode in. It is funny.
Or by Tommy Lee or Pamela Anderson.
Yeah, it's fun. Now, what else? Oh man, I had a shocking experience this week. I went to fly the drone for a particular job.
And
on the stormiest day we've had in about a year.
Brilliant. Was that this weekend?
Yeah, and it was basically I was in this woodland, right? And the idea was to basically film this building. And it was, as long as you stayed within, below the top of the trees, it was actually, the drone was flying fine. But as soon as you got, above the tree crowns, the wind was so extreme that even at full power in sports mode, given it full whack, flying against the wind, that drone would not move.
Wow. Did you lose your drone?
No, I didn't, luckily. But it was close. Very,
wow.
very, very close.
Wow.
Very close.
Did you get what you needed?
Yeah, I did in the end. I mean, there were shots that I couldn't do because of the conditions, basically. There's actually just one shot where it's sort of a lift-off type of a thing, and you can see it goes above the tree line, and then you can see the treetops. And I shot it in 4K, so it's crystal clear. But you can see that when you watch it and you see how the treetops move, you got to go, "What the hell? What was I thinking flying a drone in those conditions?" And of course, when you're...
Well, this is in the same sort of 48 hours where a plane couldn't land at Heathrow or almost flipped over.
Correct.
Or something like
correct.
Was that Heathrow? Was that right?
Exactly. That was exactly.
I skim read the
yeah. I mean, when I came back and I realized that storm actually had a name, and you realize, okay, that was an actual storm.
What was his name this time?
I have no idea. I really actually don't know.
There's a whole list of them.
Marvin.
Yeah, Marvin the Storm.
So yeah, and then of course, but when you were on the ground, especially in this woodland, you just couldn't. You had no sense of what the conditions were like out there.
Sure.
So that is why you should always do the work beforehand. But it was funny because it was a sunny day. It didn't look like it was quite sunny, blue sky.
Yeah.
So it appeared to be really good flying conditions, but I thought it was going to be a little bit windy, but the drone's actually is perfectly capable of handling some wind. It's really not a problem.
Oh, it's solid actually, really.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. Yeah, and the gimbal works well, but that was beyond anything that drone could handle.
80-mile-an-hour winds, it will not handle.
No. So yeah. There were a number of shots that I just couldn't get. I think there were a number of occasions where the usable portion of that shot was probably shorter than it would have been otherwise. And everything had to. I mean, we had to keep it within the height of the trees. Mm-hmm. Because it was actually it flew all right as long as you stayed below the treetops. It was actually all right. But that was.
So it sounds like you probably got most of the shots you would have wanted, but no. I don't know. Incoming shots. I didn't
get the flyover shots. So the idea was actually to do some flyover shots over the actual woodland and
can't be helped.
To basically show off the property in the setting.
Yeah.
We couldn't get those shots. It's just not possible.
Can't be helped. Can't be helped.
But
are you going to go back and do those, or?
I don't think so at this point. We got enough.
It's sufficient given the circumstances, right?
Yeah, there's certain parts of it where you can kind of see what the situation was there. But yeah, luckily I've downed a drone before. Like I've crashed a drone.
Drunk it?
No, I've crashed a drone before. But I've never lost one so far. So, I didn't want that to be the first time.
No. Well, I'm looking forward to it happening.
And one time I went to a local park, Black Park, which is near Pinewood Studios, not
around the
far from
corner. Yeah.
And there's a big clearing in the middle, and I remember sitting there. I think we were having like a bit of a picnic with the family sort of thing, and this couple rocks up, and the guy had obviously just bought a brand new drone or something, and they were he was launching the drone, and the first thing that happened is he flew straight into the treetop, and it came tumbling down, and his girlfriend or wife or whatever was giving him a pretty hard time because he just crashed the drone. But then, these things are resilient. You can crash it and they'll still be fine most of the time.
And you get a bit spare propellers and
you do.
Yeah.
But you also, when you first start learning how to fly, you get these propeller protector things, so you can actually crash into something and it won't necessarily harm the propeller. So
right.
Yeah, once you know how to fly, you take these off.
That's cool.
But so then he took the drone, went a little bit further into the clearing, and then launched it again. And then I could see him. I could see him launch the drone. The drone took off. It starts rising, and it starts to go, beyond the trees. The trees there are pine trees. They're fairly tall trees there.
Yeah.
So it goes, beyond the tree line, and then I can see him frantically trying to operate the remote, and I knew exactly what happened. So at that point, he must have lost connection to the drone.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there, and I can see that drone rise more and more and more, and it just ends up sort of almost like disappearing into the sky. And then I can see it go in a straight line, like, moving. It's pretty much at full speed, moving away from the park. And I've never seen a guy freak out this much, and I've never seen his girlfriend lay into him so much. And they both darted into the woods. It was absolutely, by the time they started running after this drone, this drone was probably already a couple of miles away.
Wow.
And it was literally like it had almost like, it had disappeared into like the tiniest dot on the
It
horizon.
shouldn't do that, though, should it?
Yeah, when it loses control, it might just go off. That does happen. So, that's obviously, if you don't lose, if you don't set your home point or your landing point beforehand,
right. Of course,
then, these things. But these things can happen. It's not unheard of. But
Blimey.
that drone will just keep flying until the batteries run out, and it'll just drop out of the sky. Typically,
There you
so
go.
But that was from where I was sitting, that was all very hilarious.
Absolutely.
You're just thinking like, oh God, I'm so glad it isn't my drone.
Yeah.
But
Oh no,
man.
I've had a catastrophe. I'm pouring some Coke into a glass and it overflowed.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Drama.
Never mind.
Anyway, so
What else has been happening?
okay, so on the photography front, it's photography news-wise, it's been a little bit sparse.
Dull.
Yeah, this week. But there's a couple of things that are interesting. One is Nikon are going to discontinue the D500,
Oh,
which is the APS-C flagship, I would say. So it's actually a great camera. It's a really great camera. It's a pretty fast shooter.
it's cracking. Are they really?
Yeah, so the D500 is now, what is it, about 5 years old, something like that?
Yeah, it's not old.
No, it's not old, but it's being discontinued. It just really shows that Nikon are now really focusing on mirrorless. I think they're going out of. It's not to say that they will discontinue all DSLRs, but I think DSLRs for Nikon will possibly, for the time being, remain the sort of entry level segment. I think they're completely leaving. This semi-pro.
Well, that's interesting. So they're going to make sense, move forward with mirrorless and whatnot. I get that, totally get that. So they're going to start discontinuing their top end DSLRs.
Well, that's the APS-C, the crop sensor.
But I'm guessing the other, I guess then it would make sense. That's interesting.
Well, they brought out
interesting.
So they brought out the D780, which is a full frame, so D750, successor, if you want. And the thing there is, that was basically the last, in my opinion anyway, the last sort of semi-professional, professional full frame DSLR mirrored camera that they were going to bring out. In fact, they brought the D6 as well. So but I think that's been the end of that. I think they're now fully focused on mirrorless. With the Z9, the next thing that everybody's waiting for is the Z8, whenever that's going to be announced this year, maybe next, who knows? But I think that's just that's the sign of the times. Mirrorless technology is obviously where it's heading. And I remember, when Nikon first, and it's actually the same for Canon because they both brought out their first mirrorless cameras around about the same time. So I don't think there was pressure to come up with mirrorless technology because everybody else was doing it, Fuji and Olympus, and all the rest of it. And Sony, of course, the big contender at the time was Sony. The only reason why Sony has managed to move itself into this leading position in the camera world was really because they were so early on the ball with mirrorless technology. Beating
nailed it quickly
and nailed it. Yeah, beating the main competition, i.e., Canon and Nikon.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of pressure on both of those companies to come up with mirrorless technology, and they were both very late to the party. And I think when Nikon first came out with the Z6 and then the Z7, it was their first foray into mirrorless technology. The fact that they then brought out the D780, which is still a DSLR, albeit with sort of mirrorless video capability.
Right.
It was like a hybrid type of a thing. But it still showed that maybe they weren't quite ready to leave that segment just yet. But I think, this news that they're discontinuing the D500 that really shows that they're done with it.
Good indication, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
And incidentally, there's actually similar news from Canon as well, because Canon are most likely going to announce the R7 in March, and the R7 is an APS-C sensor type camera. It's actually the replacement for the 7D. So they're going to be discontinuing the EOS 7D, and they're going to be replacing that with the R7 apparently. So that's something I came across today. So that's it's exactly the same situation. It just shows that Canon are also done with any sort of DSLR technology. I mean, they're not even going to continue making lenses for the old mount, I think, anymore. So
no. It's just cost effective to move that way, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're still going to be in with the APS-C size crop sensor. That also makes sense for a number of reasons.
That sensor size needs to stick around. There is good reason for that to exist.
The thing I'm wondering with Canon is, because they had the M series of cameras, and I'm sort of wondering what's going to happen with that. I think there's sort of a consensus generally that they may completely ditch that whole segment, potentially. Which, again, I can understand why they would do that.
It's going to end up being those boutique manufacturers that will stick mirrored. They'll keep mirrored cameras around.
Well, like Pentax.
Yes, Pentax.
Very boutique.
Pentax, that's right. Yes, Pentax. Who remembers Pentax?
I don't know. I think, wasn't it Pentax that announced that they will definitely be sticking with DSLR technology?
Yep. Pretty sure it was Pentax. It does sound about right, doesn't it?
So what can I say? So I mean, that's some news from the world of cameras. The other thing that's new is Rode have just brought out the VideoMic Go II.
Yes, that's true.
And we will be hearing more about this mic on this podcast in the near future. But I read about this today, and I actually thought it's a really interesting concept, this mic, because what it really is, it's called a VideoMic Go II. It sets you back a mere £99 sterling in the UK. So what is it? $120, $110, $120.
I pretty much put them one for one these days, because the price will end up being that way, even if the conversion isn't the same.
So it's a really affordable mic, and it's really aimed it's basically a video mic that can be used on cameras, on laptops, tablets. So you can also use it as a USB mic. So if you're, for instance, if you want to beef up your Zoom call audio quality, for example, it's a really great mic for that. You can put it on a little stand. Super awesome. It's very small, compact, it's very light. It's like 89 grams, which is nothing. So it's super small. If you compare that to the VideoMic Pro, for example, which is quite a bit bigger, this is like a small mic. This is really aimed at, creators who maybe create on their phone, they want better audio quality. Maybe people who, make TikTok videos, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Or people who want to basically improve the audio quality on their, FaceTime or Zoom calls or something like that. Mm-hmm. But it's a really interesting mic, because actually it's really based on the same technology as some of their NT series mics.
So that's interesting for me in particular. So as you know, as many of you out there probably know by now, that I've got quite a background now in audio, and I've used Rode mics since
for a long time.
The very first NT1 mic.
In fact, this is
still, they still make the NT1. And there's a good reason for it, because it's freaking amazing. It's cracking mic. So I used the original. I bought that's the first Rode mic I got, was the original NT1, and I would have been 16 when I got that. 15 maybe. I'm older than that now.
Considerably older. The advanced
And
age.
I've got that NT1. I've got this NT1 that you're speaking into right now. Some M5. I've got a handful of road related mics, and I've always loved them. And the reason I've always loved them is, are they the best quality mics? No, they're not. I don't think Rode would say that they are either. I use the NTG4 for video booming and whatnot. They will not say that they are the best mics. They won't, because they know that they're not. However, for the money you pay, you're getting a mic worth 4 times the price.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that is something to be said. So you can, I can't, honestly, genuinely cannot remember the price, but just for argument's sake, this mic might be, this NT1 right here might be, I don't know, like just say £250, just for argument's sake right now. But you can get it with great ease, sounding more like, an 800 sort of pound mic. That's the kind of quality that Rode produce, and that's why I've always gone to them. Always. Yeah. I've got loads of their mics. Yeah. I must have like 12 Rode mics.
Yeah, I've used Rhodes for a long time. Especially, I mean, the original VideoMic Pro. I've had that for years, and that's what I've always loved about it, is that it's, as a video mic, ideally, especially when you're running and gunning, when you're, let's say, vlogging or you're recording audio on the go, where you don't have the facility to use, lapel mics or anything like that. I just remembered I still have your lapel mics, which I completely forgot.
I use that too. I've forgotten about that. Yes,
I completely forgot. Which I used them on a job, but I forgot to bring it. But anyway, so when you haven't got the luxury of using a boom stand with a mic on, or clip on lapel mics, and you need to have a mic that's mounted to your camera. I've used quite a few different directional mics like that in the past, and nothing's ever even come close to the Rode VideoMic Pro. The other thing is, it's super easy. I mean, it's simple. You just plug the thing in, you switch it on, boom. There's one other switch on it. That is it. It's super easy. The only thing I have to say with the original, I think they improved it on the version 2. But on the original, trying to get a damn battery in and out of the thing is like, you need to be a magician, I think.
Yeah.
That was the only thing.
But that's where they're going, because the original came out a really long time ago now.
I did, yeah. I bought it. I bought it 7 years ago. Yeah,
I'm sure it came out long before.
It came
that
before
as well.
that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And they've gone through massive changes, and actually, mic technology has changed as well. And I think they're moving with it. I've loved Rode. Like, I can't say enough good things about them.
FaceTime call on my phone.
Yeah,
my watch.
Bye. Yeah, your phone and your watch all at the same time.
Exactly. Awesome.
So annoying.
I know, right?
You're not allowed to wear that again to a podcast.
Well, I need to actually understand how to turn these things off, but never mind.
But yeah, anyway, there you go. So, Rode. This mic, so if it's based, there we go. It's a really long way to say, if it's based on this technology, wow.
And it's sort of, it's taking that, and it's sort of moving that into the 21st century. It's a really, it seems to be a really capable mic, and I haven't been able to get my hands on one just yet, but again, watch this space. It also connects to a number of Rode apps, which basically means that you can control certain things on your phone. And
in what way?
So there's some advanced. Well, so what it says at the moment is that there's some advanced features like audio processing and stuff like that you can handle on your phone. But the sheer the ability to connect to your phone, that in itself actually is interesting.
Okay. Okay. Sometimes I find it difficult to understand those advancements, and the reason for that is because I have always been in pro audio, like pro audio gear, and this is consumer. It's aimed at consumers by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Given that it can connect to your phone, given that it's for they give a lot of advantages jizz to like Zoom and all of that kind of stuff. It gives you those options, but with a pro level sound.
Yeah.
Right. And that needs some movement from me.
See, the thing is, like, I think
that's difficult for me to get my head around.
Right. So I think what has changed dramatically is that, you know, we've moved from a world where professionals would use, you know, high-end technology in, let's say, in a studio setting. And, you know, if you think about, like, you know, some years ago, if you looked at video production or TV production, that would have all been, you know, created by professionals in studios, you know, or with heavy professional kit on location or whatever. You know, nowadays, you know, the type of creator that creates the lion's share of the content has changed, because those are people predominantly, you know, filming TikToks, Instagrams, you know, they're filming on a phone, they're using different devices. So the landscape has changed. And so this type of mic is especially aimed at that sort of demographic. You know, the fact that you could use that with your phone, I mean, you know, just the ability to you know, to improve your audio quality, you know, with a mic like that on your phone, you know, just when you're filming your TikTok videos on your phone, that in itself is fantastic. You know, so I think it's aimed at exactly that. The fact that you could plug in, you know, that it's literally a plug in and go type of a thing. You know, you can use it as a USB mic. That basically means you can have your laptop, you can plug the thing in, everything's working. You don't need extra gear or, you know, anything like that. It works in a super simple way. And you can basically set it and forget it. You don't have to worry about any of that, because you can go on, you can carry on with creating the content that you want to create without, you know, having to have a degree in audio engineering. That in itself is damn
absolutely
awesome.
And, you know, the proof will be in the pudding. And, you know, I'll be interested to hear that versus, just for argument's sake, the VideoMic Pro, just for argument's sake, you know, whatever, you know, and they're not necessarily competing against each other. They're the same brand, but, you know, they're not trying to fill the same segment. But it would just be interesting to see that the audio quality is, if you can say that this little mic is on par with the VideoMic Pro, that's a statement right there, because that of course, that's quality.
Or if you could basically say that, you know, let's say if you were creating a TikTok video, right, or an Instagram story,
I do
or whatever
every day,
you know, with your with your phone. If you compared, like, the, you know, the audio quality of the recordings that are done just with the phone against the same recordings being done with something like the VideoMic Pro Go II, for instance, and if you see a marked improvement on the audio, then it's totally worth spending 99 quid. If it was like 500 quid, it'd be different. That'd be a whole different argument. But at that price point, it's like, wow.
And this is where you need to now look at the competitors that are there. And are there any for that kind of area?
Well, there may just be. But that is something we'll be talking about in a whole different episode. There may just be one particular competitor that is very heavily moving into that market segment. But that's another story for another day.
Well, that was damn cryptic for me.
Exactly. Dun, dun, dun.
Good God, man.
So yeah, that'll be an interesting thing to watch. For sure. So more about that in a future episode. And on that cryptic message, we have...
Or cryptic bombshell.
Cryptic bombshell.
I like that. Cryptic bombshell.
Hang on, let me just write this down. This might very well be the title of this.
Cryptic bombshell. Wow.
Right. Now...
You can't read that.
I can.
You're going to read that afterwards.
Yeah, that's my speed handwriting.
Oh, fuck.
I tell you what, my handwriting looks like when I write really fast.
That looks like mystic bullshit is what you just wrote. Oh my God.
So if I wrote cryptic... So that's what it would look like if I was like really under time pressure.
That looks like a heart rate monitor.
Yeah, exactly,
Oh
right?
my God.
Anyway,
Right.
so that being said, let's move on. You're right there, COVID boy.
Yeah, that's COVID. That's COVID aftermath. Right there.
It's apparently that's another thing. It's not long COVID anymore. It's post COVID now.
Oh, whatever.
So. Anyway, so yet another cryptic bombshell. Anyway, that being said, we have come to the end of episode 93. Again, remember, if you are listening to the audio version, do us a favor and leave us a little review, give us a star rating, because it would help us a lot. And if you are watching the YouTube version of this podcast, then don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring that bell thing, and do all the things that all YouTubers always tell you to do, but especially do it now. Stop everything. Wait a second. Pause. Click that subscribe button. That would be wicked.
Stop driving first time.
And on that bombshell, we
Cryptic
shall
bombshell.
see you again next Thursday.